Hi, this is Xeno Muller here, and what you're seeing right now is the 1996 Olympic single sculls final for the men. This fellow in lane one is Vaclav Chalupa, and this is Derek Porter from Canada. And in lane three coming up is Thomas Lange, who was my rowing god. He's the one that I idealized when I was a junior. And then this fellow here in the white boat, that's me. I'm rowing a WM Swiss made by Jörg Weitnauer, and I'm shaking my shoulders here because somehow I was a little dizzy. I wonder if it was just the nerves. This fellow here, Chop from Slovenia, was the world champion the year before. And finally, here in lane six is that's a good point. I apologize, Frederick Becken, and he was the junior world champion the year before. All boats are yellow except mine. I'm in lane number 4. And to tell you real fast, what I hate the most about competitive rowing is the wait at the starting blocks. That's probably where I felt the most pressure ever. I didn't like waiting for races. It's actually quite boring to be in a world championship or Olympic week because all you do is train fairly little and wait for your race. So waiting for the starting line, here we go. I usually had a slower start. I got faster after the 96 Olympics, but as we go here, the race strategy was to pace with Chop, Chop the Slovenian in lane number 5, who I raced in the heat, and it was quite obvious that he had quite some good speed until 1,000 meters, and then after 1,000 meters, it seemed that my torque and my ability was a little bit greater than his, and I was able to pull away. So this was the goal. The goal was to pace his cup here in the foreground, in the background in white boat. That's me. I rated higher with the stroke rate. 37 was probably my base cadence. I prefer higher stroke rate to lower stroke rate with more torque. I don't like the movement to feel heavy. Um, so as we were pacing along here, I made sure that I could still feel Cup, hear him, and see a little bit of his stern there. Again, I want to re-emphasize the fact that I preferred rating higher. I always thought that if I rated a little bit higher, I won't get tired as soon. Coming up on 500 meters, my coach said to me, Zeno, do not let Derek Porter go out too far, okay? Because if Derek Porter is fit, he'll go out ahead far, and then it'll get more and more difficult to catch him. However, in the semifinal, that was 2 days before this race, Derek and I raced, and we raced hard until 1750 meters. At 250 meters to go, it seemed that Derek wasn't going to fight me until the finish line, and I was. And it was interesting that psychologically for me, winning the semifinal was very, very good in order to stay patient in this final here. Um, my my attitude in the first 1250 was that I do not want to get tired. So I am moving at stroke at 37, but it is more of a back and forth movement than what you would see with Porter and Lange. Here, Porter, you can really tell that he really torques the boat past the blades, and same with Thomas. Thomas, by the way, my favorite guy in this field. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy and super smart, and just I'm a fan of him. Even now, he's a plastic surgeon and a hand specialist. Just a really great, very well accomplished guy. All right, yay! We're at 1,000 meter mark. Probably Marty is freaking out at this point where he says, "No, Zeno, don't let Derek go that far." But I kept pace with Chop, who was ahead by half a boat length, but somehow I just had a little bit more power than Chop, and I was able to pace off of him right now, which was really crucial because at this point I did not see the stern of Lange. But as Marty said to me, Zeno, don't go for gold. If you're in fourth place, go for third. If you're in third place, go for second. And then if you're in second, go for first. So he really helped me piecemeal together the challenge and not to try to swallow the whole thing all at once and just look for a gold medal. He really said, Zeno, just go step by step. It's the first time you're in an Olympic final, and you've got nothing to lose, Zeno. As we are moving on to the last 750 meters, this is really where it became important to me to start putting a little bit more torque to my race pace. In 1988, Thomas Lange, right here, he won such a beautifully paced race against Peter Michael Kolbe, where in the last 750 meters he just destroyed him. Sorry, Peter Michael, but that's how I remember seeing that race, and I wanted to be in a race plan like Thomas did, and the beauty is, and I get excited when I see this right now. The beauty is, I was counting my strokes, and once I felt Thomas Lange next to me, and I felt that, hey, I am a stroke rates higher, and I'm actually moving. And here, this is the only time I checked. This is the only time I looked over to check where I was in the race. Coming into the last 250 meters, I had been training every third workout the last 250 meters where I would try to increase the stroke rate and increase the boat speed. So by instinct, I would know how to just crush that footboard. And if I were to die in a rowing race, I would want to die right there. Okay. For me, it was the last 30 strokes counting. My mother was standing there, my future wife was standing there, my sister, and my father in heaven, be it heaven or sky or wherever the heck he is. He was definitely not with us, but in spirit he was, and he saw me cross the finish line right there. It was, it was unbelievable. Crossing the finish line, I was not euphoric at all. It was a certain sense of calm that suddenly dropped down on me, and I thought to myself, finally, I am now recognized as an international champion, because all my life I changed countries. Everywhere I always went, I was a foreign kid. Be it in Switzerland, I was lived in France. Be it in France, I was confused as being a German or a Swiss who speaks slowly French. And then in the United States, I was called the fuzzy foreigner at Brown University. But once I crossed the finish line, I thought, finally, I have the Olympic stamp of approval that no matter where I go, uh, I am recognized as someone who has accomplished this feat. And to this day, 6:44.85 is still an Olympic record. Who knows if here in 2008, 6:44.85 is going to get crushed? But until now, it's still the record. After I crossed the finish line, it took about 20 minutes until we were given the medals, and I I would cry, I would laugh, I would cry, I would laugh. I had never heard the Swiss anthem before in my life. So when the music was being played, I thought, okay, God, that's got to be it. They're not going to make a mistake. And I put my hand on my chest as the anthem was being played, and that's something that the Swiss don't do. But because I spent most of my time at that point in the United States, you do put your hand on your chest for the Pledge of Allegiance, so I thought it would be appropriate to do when the anthem goes up. So I saw a bunch of people cheering me on after the race that I hadn't seen in 10 years. So thank you everyone who supported me. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, my children, Georgia, Zeno, Christopher, and Reed. Thank you very much.